As it's Halloween, we're talking about the things that scare us. And we talk all things spooky. Are ghosts real? Do you believe in spirits? We're about to duke it out now on all these topics. Are ghosts real? Johnny B.
What do you come to me for? How do I know? I've never seen a ghost, but I knew someone who had
Here we fucking go now.
an experience, right?
Right.
Without naming names now around the town, everyone will know who this is. There's a house in Care that people say is haunted, right?
Sir.
Yeah. And I knew a woman living there, and she was singing, she was sitting on the bed, singing this old song. And I don't know what song it was. Could have been like, maybe a bit of Catch a Goo Goo. Maybe she was singing like, too shy to shy, hush, hush, shy to shy, eye to eye, right?
Yeah.
Whatever song she was singing, the radio turned on, and that song was playing.
No way.
The radio turned on of itself.
All by itself.
Oh my god.
And that song was playing.
You're having me on.
Yeah. So she turned the radio back off and just went about her day.
That was the game of rattles.
Have you had an experience with the paranormal, John?
No, I don't think I have. If you're asking me, are ghosts real? I'd probably say no. But then, how do I know they're not real? Like Leap Castle is quite near Roscrea.
Okay.
And that's in Offaly.
Right.
And
that's scary enough.
Yeah, already the paranormal. But that is meant to be haunted, and people have said that they've visited that and seen ghosts and stuff like that. Now, I don't know, if you tell someone you're going to see a ghost, they'll probably fucking mind will go into overdrive and they'll think they've seen a ghost.
Yeah, you're open to it anyway.
But I've never had a ghost like,
I had a ghost as a pet once.
Casper. He's fucking sound out as well.
I only seen that recently, Casper. That's alright.
But
Anyway, go on, sorry.
I don't know. I think the things with ghosts are like, we have this thing in our imagination that ghosts are like white, like Casper, sheets over your head like a ghost. But like, I think it's more likely spirits. I think spirits, you could convince me more that spirits are real. A presence or something like.
Well, a mate of mine has a theory. When someone dies, right? In science, you can't destroy energy. You can only convert it.
Yeah.
So if you have a piece of wood and you burn it, it's not gone. It's just become heat.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah.
things don't disappear. They only change form.
Yeah.
Science, right? So if you're alive and then you die,
What happens?
what happens, right? Your body...
Oh, you're freaking me out now, man. I hate that thought of dying.
But then that's like the idea that people have a soul.
Yeah.
Obviously apart from gingers. But like...
Spirits are a bit more like, I think spirits are a bit more believable
Then what?
than ghosts.
They're not the same thing.
Yeah, but like, there's not like, so if you die,
Yeah.
you're not going to be standing like in a corner of the room as a ghost going like, ooh, I'm going to get you when you go to sleep. But I think there's some hope of like a presence, a spirit, like you walk into a room. Like, I don't want to go full Derek Acora, like, you used to do Most Haunted. Like,
Oh, a TV show?
yeah, he'd be like, I'm being overtaken by a spirit. There's a spirit, and then he'd be on the room, or he'd be on the ground, like letting on to spaz out, like, and he'd be like, cut. Okay, well done, Derek. That was very believable. But I reckon, sometimes you go into places and you get that feeling.
But that's like a medium.
Yeah.
Right? So I was looking at this to give people the background. Mediumship is a practice of where, communication between spirits of the dead and the living humans. And then practitioners, mediums or spirit mediums, right? There's all different types. So sometimes they speak through the medium. Like as if the medium's body gets taken over. And then other times the medium is just like, I can hear your granddad. He says, stop being a prick,
Yeah. But like, some like Darren Brown does a bit of that.
Does he?
Yeah.
This man does the illusions and all that.
Yeah. But like,
Yeah,
He admits that he doesn't actually communicate with the dead,
Yeah.
but he knows the practices that those type of people do. And
he kind of exposed.
to say Michael Connellan's approach, he's in it for the money.
But no, like, if you're in the audience and you're like, I want to speak to someone who's dead, and if you're around 60, odds are your parents probably dead. And they're like, oh, I'm hearing your parents, and then Mary in the front row is going, oh my God, he's really like, you're 60, odds are your parents are dead. So like, I'm based on probabilities.
Yeah.
I reckon that's how they're doing it.
But I want to know, do you know when like the spirit takes over the body? And then there's like, just like spirit takes over your body and then what you say is actually them.
Yeah.
Do they like do the accent and all?
Bring in the shape.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know, that freaks me out. Just on other kind of little Halloween like traditions and stuff. When I was a young lad, right, in Australia, like ghost stories used to be a big thing.
Yeah.
And it was like they'd all sit around telling ghost stories, and I used to be shitting it. Like I was the youngest in the group. Like, I'd go home to my mother, then I'd always be bawling. So ever since then, like ghost stories freak me out. Whenever people start talking about freaky stories, and we were coming home last night in the car, and we're talking about like freaky stories, and I was just had my phone rang last night, and I already jumped out through the fucking window then at home. So I don't know. Like, say as a young lad, people used to play a Ouija board when I was young in Rosscrea.
Jesus, lad.
Now, yeah, we were fucking hard, man. But like, I never touched it because I was petrified, and my mother was like, "Don't do any of that shit." And I genuinely listened to that woman. So, did you ever play a Ouija board?
No. So, honey doesn't know, the Ouija board, aka known as a spirit or talking board, right? So it's a flat piece of board, and there's words on it. They normally have yes, no, hello, goodbye, and then they have the alphabet and the letters or the numbers 0 to 9, and then you have a planchette, as they call it, is the heart-shaped little piece of wood. So the person doing it puts their hand on the piece of wood, and then it gets moved around to spell words and stuff.
How does it get moved around?
Yeah, like this is the thing. I want to know if you do it and you're like, is it subconsciously? You're like, you know, A wants to talk to me. Oh, it's my mate Anto. What does he want? You know, B, beer. Oh, he wants to go on the beer. And you just say to the girlfriend then, like, you know what I mean? I have to go. Like, he's not dead. He just lives in Clogheen. But it's the same thing.
I think they did actually studies into it, and it's things that people move it subconsciously.
Yeah.
And also then like some people, like, if there's 3 people who have their hands in it, somebody could just be like winding the other 2 up.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like, will Johnny Smacks ever play county again? Yes.
It's moving towards goodbye.
W-A-N-K.
Yeah, I hate to be the one to say it, but like I think it's a load of bollocks.
Ouija boards, the whole lot.
Yeah, but no, Ouija boards, when they were first made, they weren't supposed to be for communicating with the dead. They were like commercially produced in 1890 as a parlour game.
Okay.
And people just, as you always do, I think when people are desperate, they're looking for something.
Yeah. Yeah, no, looking for answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, nobody's going checking out Ouija boards like when they're like, wow, life is great.
Let's play a Ouija board.
You know, you're going to the Ouija board when it's like, you know, okay, you know,
I've got 10 cents left in my bank account.
rational thinking hasn't worked, so let's fuck reality out the window and see what this piece of timber has to say about my life.
Have you ever played it?
No, why would I play a Ouija board?
Did you, Mar?
No, but I would for the crack. The thing is, like, I don't really believe in ghosts, but there's an abandoned cottage on our farm, and I will not go past it at night.
Yeah.
And actually, the other evening, I forgot how, like, early the evenings are drawn in. And I was walking past the cottage. Like, the history of this cottage, like, it predates the famine, and the last people to live in it all died from TB.
Oh, Jesus.
So they died in the house, and at that time back, like however many decades ago, people thought that TB was in the walls, and therefore nobody lived in the cottage after it. And yeah, I don't like, the windows are really small, and you can always feel when you're walking past it somebody's watching you. I just don't like it. So
You should make that as a tourist attraction. Get a few fucking bob for that kind of stuff nowadays.
oh, I don't know.
Yeah, Halloween event. Come get TB. Feel the experience.
Okay, so me and Johnny don't fancy the Ouija board. Mara reckons she'd give it a go. What about going to see a medium / fortune teller, some fella reading your palm or your tarot?
Tarot cards.
Do you believe in that kind of crack now?
Okay. Would I go see a fortune teller? Well, I do think of Dara Breen's joke, but this is a true story that happened. You know, he was a venue he was playing. The psychic Sally Morgan had been there the night before, and she'd gotten a brilliant heckle from the audience. Somebody shouted up, "I recently lost my father," and she was like, "Okay, I'm feeling something. Yes, yeah, okay, he's passed on to a better place." And then the person shouts back up, "Oh, it's okay, I found him. He's right here next to me."
Those mediums and stuff. I don't know. I personally wouldn't go to a fortune teller, because I just wouldn't know what I'm I'm a weird man in that I would take it literal. I'd probably start living my life to like, no, it's okay. The fortune teller told me to do this, and I would let it take over my life. And
It told me to never work again.
Yeah. Will you do me a favor? No, fortune teller said I can't.
Yeah.
I think I'd let it. It'd eat me away if I went to see a fortune teller, and that's the God's honest truth.
Say the tarot cards, like you turn over the card, death.
Death.
Oh, it means buy a new tractor. Like it can be interpreted any way you want. Although a mate of ours got his fortune told recently.
Yeah, one of the lads went to a fortune teller, and he was like reluctant enough to go, and then he went into her anyway, and she was like, "What's your name?" And he was like, "Stephen." And she was like, "No, it's not." And then he was like, "Fuck, his name wasn't Stephen." And then she was like, "Why be out in the car for the last 10 minutes thinking ill of me?
Oh God.
And why did you decide to give me a
Fake name.
And he was sitting out in the car, and he said he sat in the car for like 10-15 minutes before he went into her, and he was thinking in his head like, oh, I don't think I'll bother going into this one now. She's talking a load of shite.
Lad, like,
And
right,
she copped it straight away.
maybe she looked out the window.
There is also that truth, but like I remember as a young, like going back to those ghost stories in Ross Gray, like especially about mediums and fortune tellers, that like you hear all these stories and it's like, this woman went to a fortune teller and the fortune teller gave her an envelope and said, don't open that now until you're home. And she went outside and crashed the car, and then the firemen opened the envelope and said, check your brakes.
That fortune teller was some prick.
No, but you hear all these kind of horror stories all the time. I don't
Yeah.
think they're true. My mum went to a fortune teller, and this would be the only reason that like I'd have a little bit in my mind would be like, maybe they're telling the truth. Mother went to the fortune teller when I think I was 12 or 13, and the fortune teller told her, this lad will get on in life, he'll be famous, be loved by millions, and will travel the world.
Wow.
Now she must have got me mixed up with Darrow O'Brien or something like that, but no, like they told my mother that.
And you were 12 years of age.
Yeah.
A fortune teller told your mother you'd be famous.
Yeah.
Wow. Loved by millions is a bit
It's a
much.
bit, yeah. She got a bit fucking carried away there.
How accurate is the fortune teller, you know?
Yeah, but
That's
like,
amazing.
that's an odd thing to say. Yeah, the mother would often say to me, like, that fortune teller was right.
Yeah, I'm going to go to a fortune teller now in a couple of weeks, but I want specific answers. I'm going to be showing her lads pictures and be like, now, should I stay with this lad or should I leave him? And actually, do you know what? While we're here, let's open up my Tinder profile and we'll just swipe left or right. What are the spirits saying? Yeah.
Does this lad look like a chancer? Yeah.
She pulled a tarot card in each fella. Okay. Death. Halloween's here, and it is a time of the year where everybody watches scary films and tries to freak themselves out. Do you have any favourite scary films and that freaks you out and you can't watch, really?
That I can't watch. I find a hard time watching stuff with aliens because
Are aliens real?
well, when I was little, I watched the X-Files, and I believed the X-Files were based on actual true life, stories that had, I thought scriptwriters had found all these like CIA or FBI files and go like, this would make a great TV series. And therefore I was convinced that aliens were real and were coming to abduct me. And I remember driving back from my granny's late at night and like for a long time been looking up into the sky looking for alien spaceships and being like terrified if I seen a red light. I'd be like, red light, in the sky, it's an alien spaceship. Mommy, drive faster, get on, the aliens are after us.
The aliens are in Mead. They're coming to Mead.
They could do worse.
Johnny, any films that
I do not watch horror films.
at all? Why?
Yeah. Well, recently, maybe just because we're so busy, I find myself, if I'm watching a movie, like just say it starts off, right? And you're protagonist. And then, the thing happens that sets up the tone of the movie. And then there's a big fight. And then just as like things start to go really wrong, I find myself going like, I couldn't be bothered watching this. I just want the bit where they set up all the characters and have a fight. And then with the horror films, when I was a young fella, we watched that movie It with the clown. Scared the shit out of me. Yeah. And like gave me nightmares.
What? I don't know. What happened with the clown?
A load of freaky shit happened. People died. He was pulling lads down into the sewers and going at him, and I didn't know what he was doing.
I remember seeing an ad for the new version of that there like a couple of years ago, and it was just like eyes in a drain.
Yeah,
It's
you man.
fair scary, you know. Fairness. It was, it freaked me out. Like, when I was younger, I seen Halloween, one, you know, Jamie Lee Curtis, and like the fella that's following her is called like Michael Myers.
Yeah.
And he'd be chasing around the place. And when I was young then, I used to, like, if my mother sent me out to get something in the shop or that, and it was dark, like, I'd run as fast as I could, and I'd be like pretending that Michael Myers was chasing me, and I could fucking get up some pace. Like, even as an adult, I should probably try that for pre-season. So like, oh, Michael Myers is chasing me, flying around trying to get out to the ball first. Like, but I was petrified of him, and then I stopped watching horror films for ages. And then when Paranormal came out, like, we'd heard all this stuff, like Paranormal Activity was in the cinema.
Yeah.
We'd heard all these reviews in America that people were fainting, it was so scary and all. And like a group of us in college were like, we'll go.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, fucking sweating to death going into the cinema. And we watched it, and it was absolutely freaky. Like, it was everybody was really scared. And we got back to Manor Village that night. And everyone was just sitting there in quietness in the sitting room going, that was fucked up, that film, wasn't it? And then one of our friends, Andy, went in to our other friend Roger's bedroom, and he cut a hole in the fabric under the bed and got into the actual frame of the bed.
Yeah.
And he was small enough, and it was lying in the frame of the bed. So when Roger went into bed, then he was lying down in the bed, and Andy was in the base of the bed. Roger, like, you know, it was one of those, is it a divan bed where you can cut fabric, like, under it, and he got in. So he couldn't be seen. And then Roger was lying down in the bed, and Andy was just scraping away like that at the bottom of the bed. And then, like, we were all waiting in the kitchen, and Roger came out and was like, telling you lads, I'm hearing noises. We were like, get back into bed, you dope, there's nothing in there, like, you know. And then he was like, no, seriously, there is. And he got back in a couple of minutes later, just heard screaming. Andy was 45 minutes in under the bed. But it worked a treat, scared the shit out of me, and that's why I'll always remember with Paranormal, and that is definitely in my top 3 scary films. It freaked this shit out.
Have you seen The Shining?
No, is that
Oh, here's Johnny.
Yeah.
Jack
I've
Nicholson,
never
isn't
seen
it?
that. No.
He gets locked in a hotel for the winter and goes mental.
Yeah. Do you not like that film? Or
I know it was well made, but like,
I don't think it's scary though.
it's freaky enough.
Yeah. The best one, I remember sitting down to watch Scream one night with my friend and her boyfriend in her dad's house, and we didn't realise it, but her dad had come in while we were watching the film, seen we were watching Scream, remembered that he had a Scream mask upstairs in his wardrobe.
As you do.
Waited for a really scary bit of the film and came in with the Scream mask on and jumped on top of Kevin. I know he listens to the podcast. And poor Kevin, like, he absolutely lost it. He was crawling around on the floor for about 5 minutes and just not well. He was just crawling around just going, oh Jesus, oh Jesus. It's like, Kevin, do you want to sit back up? Do you want a cup of tea? And he just said, oh Jesus. Just doing laps in the sitting room.
There's no feeling like that though, being absolutely scared. Like, it's the weirdest sensation. Like, so if we were to pick our top 3 scary films, do we have any, Johnny? Do you have any that would have to make it into your top 3?
No, like, just I think if you're into the horror genre, you probably have seen The Exorcist, which was one of the first movies to really cause a furore in the news, where that made that young girl like go at herself with a crucifix and her head spins around and stuff. That was all a bit awfully for me now.
Yeah, my dad went to see that when he was 14 in the cinema in RD, like back when RD had a cinema, like the 1970s or whatever, and then had to walk back from RD to Drumconnet 6 miles in the middle of the night after seeing that. He's traumatized. Yeah.
Gee,
Max?
If I was to pick top 3 scary films, I'd probably have Halloween maybe in there at 3. And there's a film at number 2 I'm going to put called Prisoners. Hugh Jackman's in it.
Oh, it's not quite a horror film, really, is it?
It is fair scary, lad. That's scary, I'm telling you. I don't want to ruin it for anyone, but there's an old one in that, like, and she gives me the willies, lad.
Yeah, she is the worst ban on tea you have ever seen.
So check that out. And Paranormal Activity, the first one at number 1, that is fucked up shit.
It'd have to be Signs, you know, with Mel Gibson, where
yeah.
the crop circles. Yeah, again, being abducted by aliens, my number 1 fear.
But that's an enjoyable enough film, I thought.
No, it's not. The bit where you can see the alien pacing underneath the floor, And then he gets down to look underneath the floor with the knife, and then the alien sticks the hand out. And
Mel Gibson is just scary in general nowadays.
Yeah, but
For a lot of reasons.
That's the one where the brother based the shit out of your man with a baseball bat.
swing away.
Oh, what a moment.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch that. I don't have time. But anyway, yeah.
So check those films out over your Halloween break, lads. If you get no night off, we just want to say very happy Halloween to all of our podcast listeners.
And if you're going lighting bonfires, don't be acting a maggot now, right? Don't be throwing rocks at the firemen.
Yeah, let them alone.
Let them alone.
And to anyone doing the old fancy dress, you know, a slutty nurse is not a Halloween costume.
No, it is appreciated.
Look, have a good Halloween. Stay safe. We'll see you soon.